Hi there and welcome back to my kitchen. I love Italian food and I love soup. The recipe today hits the mark on both counts. We're going to make Italian tortellini soup. Like all of my recipes, this is very fast, it comes together quickly, has no exotic ingredients, and you'll be eating dinner in no time. Let's throw this together. Like I mentioned, the ingredients are pretty basic. I'm going to use some carrots and onion, garlic, and you can use fresh garlic, or of course you can use the garlic in the jar if that's easier for you, a can of tomatoes, a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of Italian seasoning, some bouillon, some fresh basil, and tortellini. This tortellini is plant-based and it's made with almond ricotta, and I've served it to many people that aren't plant-based and they did not even know that it did not contain dairy. I'm starting with my elephant garlic. And like I mentioned, you can use any kind of garlic. If you want to use the garlic in the jar because that's better for you, easier, or maybe just what you have access to, that's fine. I love this elephant garlic because it's super mild and it just has a really great flavor. It's not quite as sharp as a normal small clove of garlic. I'm just going to run this through my garlic press. Next up are carrots, and I like to just peel the carrot and I like to leave the carrot whole and just slice it into little circular slices. I just like the way that looks, but if you like to cut it into bigger pieces or cut it in half to little half moons, that's fine too. And the last veggie we'll chop is our onions. And I know that there are some people that don't have access to a lot of fresh produce. So if you need to use frozen produce, by all means, go that direction. Don't let the fact that you may not be able to access some fresh produce prevent you from cooking. Often the stores will have the frozen and that works just as well. I'm going to turn my heat on under the pot, and while my pot gets hot, I'm going to drain that can of tomatoes. And you know I don't use oil when I saute, I water saute. So by the time I get those tomatoes drained, this pan will be ready for the veggies. Okay, I've drained my tomatoes and I just drained a little bit of the liquid off the top. And I'm going to see if my pan is hot. And it's ready. Okay, here we go. Onions and carrots in. And I'm not putting my garlic in yet. I will put my garlic in after my onions and carrots are tender, because if you saute garlic too long, it can easily become bitter. Toss in a little bit of water. And I'll give this a stir. And I'll let this cook until the pan begins to cook dry. And I'll splash a little bit more water in, and we'll continue to saute these till they're tender. My pan is beginning to cook dry, and I'll splash a little water in and just finish these up. That took about 3 minutes, so I'll go ahead and toss in this garlic. It's been about a minute and my garlic is really fragrant, and I'll put in my Italian seasoning, my black pepper, and I like to put my spices in my saute just for a few seconds and get them to bloom. That looks good, and I'll throw in my tomatoes and our water. I'll put the lid on this and let it come to a boil. While this comes to a boil, I'm going to pinch some leaves off of this fresh basil so that I can stir it in while the tortellini cooks. If you don't have access to fresh basil, which I know is is possible. You can buy a freeze-dried basil, which I like a little bit more than just a regular dried basil. This has a little bit more flavor, and you can use this instead if this is really what you only have access to. Our parents grew up during the Depression, and there's one thing that my mom taught me, and that is if you don't have access to something, figure out a substitute. That's how a lot of great things are really discovered, and how a lot of new recipes are found. We have access to so much information now that our parents didn't have. So if you go to make a recipe and you don't have all the ingredients, just go look online and ask, what can I substitute for this? And you'll just find that you're still able to make the recipe, and you may find that you like it even better. This has come to a boil. And now I'll add my bouillon. And if you want to use the packaged stock in the store, that's fine, you can do that. I like to use my homemade bouillon, and I'm using my chickenless bouillon this time. And if you want that recipe, you can click the link down below. It's super, super easy to make and very budget friendly. Give this a little stir, and I'll add the tortellini. I wish you could smell this. I'm putting the lid on, but I'm going to tilt the lid so it doesn't boil over, and lower my heat down to medium. And I'll let this cook until the tortellini is nice and tender. This is coming along nicely. You know, sometimes I get grief for using a packaged tortellini, but I pick one that has minimal ingredients. Of course, I go non-dairy, and I've made my own tortellini in the past, and it's wonderful. But it is not always practical for me because of my schedule. And so I just really want to encourage everyone to cook your meals in your home. And with a little bit of practice, you'll find that you can make a meal and serve it faster than you can go someplace. This smells great. Sometimes when I make this soup, I'll drain a can of white cannellini beans and add to the soup, especially if I need to stretch it a little bit or if I want to add more protein. And it really leans this soup toward an Italian white bean soup. It's very, very good. Well, this has been cooking for about 8 minutes, and the tortellini is nice and tender, and I'm gonna toss in the basil. And that's it. This is ready to serve. I always wait to the end to toss in the basil because I like it to retain that nice bright color. The temperatures are cold here today, so this soup is gonna hit the spot. I garnished this with some fresh basil, and it is beautiful. It is a vibrant, gorgeous bowl of soup. The orange from the carrots, the green from the basil, and the red from the tomatoes. It is absolutely beautiful. Wow, that is flavor packed. I'm going to have this with a little bit of crusty sourdough. This has so much depth of flavor. This is going to take the chill off today. I really hope you give this recipe a try. It's super simple and so satisfying. If you do, let me know how it goes down in the comments section. And I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed our time together, please click the like and subscribe so you'll catch the next video, and I'll see you then.